Tonight I'll tell you all about what's happening this week on campus.
Then hear about the best way to prepare for finals coming up in 2 weeks.
Hello, I'm Grayson Taylor.
And I'm Margaret Chase. Welcome to the Monday Night Roar. We have your latest news, entertainment, sports, and more coming up right now.
Clemson Life organized a dance at a live Wesleyan church in central South Carolina recently. Night to Shine was a prom-style event that had 200 attendees with special needs and over 220 Clemson members and volunteers. Clemson Life supports enhancing social employment and life skills that will better prepare these students to lead full and productive lives.
The Clemson family showed its generosity Wednesday, donating more than $900,000 to support student, faculty, and facility needs during the inaugural Give Day. The gifts from students, faculty, staff, alumni, and supporters will help the university reach this year's $105 million private fundraising goal in support of the Will to Lead capital campaign.
It Just Takes One is the theme of Clemson University's Tigers Together to Stop Suicide this spring. It includes a creative inquiry team that is started and led by professors that focus on suicide prevention on campus. Heidi Zenzo and Marty Thompson will be hosting events to raise awareness coming this spring. There are plenty of members on campus that secretly suffer from these thoughts, and this program simply encourages lending an ear to help someone that thinks they're alone before they do something that they can never take back.
Bringing research-based knowledge directly into people's homes and backyards is the goal of a new online video series being launched by the South Carolina Botanical Garden and Clemson TV. The videos are 4 to 5 minutes each and showcase the array of landscapes found on the 295-acre Botanical Garden property. The videos will be produced monthly and can be viewed on demand at tv.clemson.edu.
7 Clemson University students have received graduate research fellowships from the National Science Foundation. This foundation awards three-year graduate research fellowships to students in science, engineering, mathematics, technology, and some social sciences. Out of 17,000 applicants nationwide, 2,000 students win these prestigious awards.
Last week, Tiger Paw Productions announced on their Facebook page that the Spring Scene concert featuring Jason Derulo that was set for this Saturday has been canceled. They did not provide a reason for the cancellation of the event, but urged ticket holders to contact their point of purchase to receive a refund.
This week is Pride Week 2016. Pride Week is a collection of events designed to celebrate those on campus that support or are part of the LGBTQ+ community. The Harvey and Lucinda Gant Multicultural Center has partnered with several other offices to put on programs this week and represent and explain the culture. There will be 10 different programs offered, so check out the university's website to gather information on when and where to be.
Would you like a plan to prepare for your final exams this semester so you can avoid that stressful last-minute cramming? Students will learn about the best way to prepare for their final exams and develop a plan for the rest of the semester in a workshop with Dr. Christine Murphy in room 118 of the Academic Success Center on Tuesday at 12:30 p.m. Students are encouraged to bring their syllabi to start planning for finals early.
Brunch for Change was offered yesterday, Sunday, April 10th. This event, it was in the Hendricks Student Ballroom and started off Pride Week 2016 here on campus. This brunch was a way for people to connect and speak about the LGBT climate here at Clemson.
Tomorrow night at the Brooks Center, the Clemson Symphonic Band and Concert Band will perform a variety of modern and classic music by some of the most exciting composers of our time. The concert begins at 8 p.m. Tickets are $5 for adults and free to all students. Now here's Max with your sports update.
How's it going, guys? This week in the sports world, the Warriors matched a 96 Chicago Bulls win streak. Danny Willett wins the 2016 Masters Tournament and the 2016 Clemson football spring game. Let's start out with the Warriors. The Warriors had a historic win last night, tying the 96 Bulls record at 72 wins. They beat their Western Conference foes, the San Antonio Spurs, 92-86. Curry led the way for the Warriors once again with 37 points and 5 assists. The Warriors now only have one opponent between them and the record, the Memphis Grizzlies. The game is at home for the Warriors at Oracle Arena. I believe history will be made Wednesday night with the Warriors beating the Grizzlies and making their mark in the record books. There was a major surprise at the Masters this year. Englishman Danny Willett stole the title from last year's champ Jordan Spieth after Spieth quadruple bogeyed one of the last holes. It was the first time Spieth had anything over a double bogey in a major. Willett was bogeyless on his final 21 holes and won his first major at this year's Masters. Let's talk about the Clemson football spring game. Over 50,000 fans showed up on Saturday to watch Clemson's white and orange squads face off. Orange took down white in a 17-9 victory, with Deshaun Watson once again stealing the spotlight, going 7 for 11, 141 yards, and 2 touchdowns. There were many fresh new faces for the Tigers, and once again, energy-filled Death Valley. Hopefully our Tigers will bring back the national championship trophy this year. Go Tigers. That's all for this week. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Max. Hubbell Lighting Incorporated is one of the largest manufacturers of industrial and residential lighting fixtures in North America. Now, the Hubbell Foundation Engineering has pledged $250,000 to Clemson University to establish the Hubbell Foundation Engineering Scholarship Endowment. This will help in our school's efforts to provide highly qualified and talented engineering workforce members that may provide innovative solutions to challenging problems. This will be a scholarship base for junior engineering majors and will be renewed for their senior year. This is part of our university's billion-dollar The Will to Lead capital campaign that supports faculty members and students with scholarships, professorships, facilities, and technology.
To demonstrate the university's response to a potential campus threat, Clemson will hold an active shooter training exercise from 8 a.m. until 11 a.m. on Friday at Edwards Hall. The campus will be notified at the start of the exercise by a CU Safe Alert text message and campus sirens, and periodically during the morning. Those not directly involved in the exercise will not have to take any action. Those planning to be on campus are told not to be alarmed if you see a heavy police presence in this area on Friday. The Spring Scene concert series in the Botanical Garden continues this week on Friday night at 7 p.m. Together, Christopher Branch and Hannah Wright are Love and Ransom, a musical duo with an eclectic style. Their songs are a perfect mixture of Americana, folk, and country music. Come hear the soulful sounds of Love and Ransom in the Botanical Garden Amphitheater. Admission is free.
The second person has died due to a hit and run in Anderson County. A 28-year-old Douglas Knight was a passenger in the car and has died from his injuries in Greenville Memorial Hospital. The driver, a 41-year-old Karen Lyon Hampton, has also died due to her head injury sustained in the crash. 42-year-old Christopher Eugene Self of Vail, North Carolina, was arrested and charged with murder from the crash.
Unites is proud to present, in partnership with Clemson's Pride Week, the Two Ring Circus. This event will begin at 10 p.m. on Friday night in the Tillman Auditorium with acrobatic feats and aerial performances. The show is free to all students.
Sheriff's deputies are investigating after a woman's body was found along Interstate 26 in Orangeburg County this weekend. Deputies were called after a motorist reported a suspicious object spotted by the interstate at around 8 a.m. this past Saturday at the US 301 exit. The woman has not yet been identified, and investigators have not yet ruled out foul play.
Well, it appears Nike is making noticeable changes to Clemson's football uniforms for the 2016 season. Clemson football sent out a Nike Speed video on Friday revealing the Tigers' new look, but it was soon taken down, not before several Clemson fan sites and message board users took screenshots of Deshaun Watson sporting the latest threads. It appears the Tigers are returning to a more traditional look with paws on the top of their shoulders and numerals along the side. Numerals across the chest have also increased in size.
Iran has received the first delivery of previously forbidden advanced missile defense systems from Russia this week. The S-300 system is able to engage multiple aircraft and missiles from 90 miles away. Israel has expressed sincere concern over this delivery due to the repeated threats from Iran to destroy them.
A new era of communication and collaboration between the United States and Cuba is underway, and researchers at Clemson University are in the first wave. A group of Clemson scientists made a trip to Havana last month to discuss a possible partnership between the university and our island neighbor to conserve and preserve cultural heritage.
ROTC's 100th anniversary will be celebrated at 5 p.m. on Military Heritage Plaza this Thursday, April 14th. The Clemson University Reserve Officers Training Corps will hold a ceremony naming outstanding cadets as patrons to each training unit, and also name 2 outstanding former Army cadets to the Clemson University's ROTC Hall of Fame. Now here's to Nick with your showtimes.
Hello and welcome back to Showtimes. The disappointing weekend at the theater almost culminated in a disappointing box office as well. Melissa McCarthy's critically panned The Boss came in at #1, just barely edging out Batman vs. Superman with $23 million. I can't believe enough people were convinced that movie would be a good time, but oh well, because this week we finally have another promising title. Jon Favreau's reboot of The Jungle Book hits theaters this weekend, and the early reactions are overwhelmingly positive. The film features an all-star voice cast and apparently has some of the most advanced CGI of all time. That's definitely my recommendation for this week, because why would you want to watch the new Barbershop movie? As for at home, there's nothing really new coming to Netflix this week, but on Redbox you can rent Tina Fey and Amy Poehler's Sisters, which seems like a good enough time. Or if you're looking for something a little more critically acclaimed, you can check out the Oscar-nominated coming-of-age film Brooklyn. That's all the scoops I have for you this week. Have a great summer, and remember you can check out my full-length movie reviews on YouTube at Not a Film Critic. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Nick. Clemson University will break ground for a marker to commemorate the locations where enslaved African Americans lived at Fort Hill and of the stockade where convict laborers, mostly African Americans, were housed. The ceremony will begin at 11:30 a.m. on Tuesday. Trustees, faculty, and special guests will participate in the ceremony, which launches a commitment to tell the university's full history.
In less positive Fort Hill news, this morning a sign posted outside the Clemson landmark was defaced. The sign was put there to commemorate African Americans on Fort Hill, but the vandalists hung bananas on the sign. This harkens back to the racial tensions around the renaming of Tillman to Old Main this time last year. President Clinton sent out an email this morning that stated an investigation is underway.
The pastor of the Greenville church that burned to the ground on Thursday said that the outpouring of support from the local community is beyond anything he could have imagined. The fire started in a fellowship building behind the main sanctuary. Heavy smoke continued to pour from the building all morning. A short time later, the roof collapsed and the steeple toppled over. Pastor Jones said it's too early to say whether they would plan to rebuild the church, which was built in the late 1960s.
Jeffrey C. Hallow, an associate professor in the Clemson University's PRTN department, has released a children's book advocating interest in national parks. Rosie Ralph Visits His National Parks was published this past March through Amazon's online bookseller CreateSpace. For more information on his first children's book, please visit www.createspace.com or email him directly at jhallow@clemson.edu.
Much of the upstate and western North Carolina were under a freeze warning Saturday night into Sunday morning, with part of the region at risk of a hard freeze. Lows dipped to around freezing in the upstate and into the upper 20s in the North Carolina mountains, which could damage and possibly kill sensitive plants and crops and hinder production for the fall season.
This past weekend, a stabbing at Phi Delta Theta fraternity has landed a member in the hospital. After a suspicious community member was denied entrance to the party, things became hostile. The alleged stabber then found his way in over a gate and stabbed the victim 3 times as he was being escorted out. We have been told that the stabber has been arrested and the victim is getting reports on the results of his numerous stab wounds.
Tickets to the 17th annual Hootie and the Blowfish Monday after the Masters Celebrity Golf Tournament are sold out according to the tournament officials. This was the earliest sellout since the event moved from Kiowa Island to Myrtle Beach in 2003. The event took place earlier today at Barefoot Resort and Golf's Dye Club. Now here's Trevor with your weekly forecast.
Thank you, Margaret. I hope everybody had a great weekend. This is the last episode of Monday Night Roar for the semester, and because of that, there is an extended version of Trevor's weather. So we're going to take a look at what temperatures and conditions are like right now across Clemson. Temperatures are comfortable, 65 degrees. The humidity is high, about 70%. The winds are calm as well, 0 to 5 miles per hour. And that heat index we don't have to worry about right now as of today. This to my right is a webcam image from earlier today. You've got the amphitheater, reflection pond, and library in the background, and it was cloudy. If you look, it was cloudy. It was cloudy for most of the day today. There were a few peaks of sunshine here and there, but as the rain is coming closer, we're going to talk about the rain in just a minute, those clouds did precede it. So here is the current conditions across the upstate South Carolina. Again, temperatures are in the upper 60s to low 70s. It is about 70 near Spartanburg, 69, 71 near Charlotte. But if you look further to our west, where the rain has cooled temperatures, closer to Atlanta and Chattanooga, temperatures are in the mid to upper 60s. So the rain has cooled those temperatures down just a bit, and that will be the case for tonight as well. This is a map provided by WeatherBell. I used to tweet out a lot of their temperature forecasts, highs and lows on my Twitter recently. WeatherBell does predict temperatures again, and tonight will be in the mid to upper 50s, closer to the Midlands and into the upstate. But the closer you go to the coast, those temperatures will rise just a bit. Lows are expected to be in the mid-60s to upper 60s and may even touch 70 along the beaches and along the immediate coast. Next, we're going to look at the yearly temperature trend for Clemson, the average highs and the average lows for each month. I did show you guys this recently. Today was April 11th. The average highs and lows were 70 and 43 respectively. We did see a little bit higher than that today. The record high for today is 90 degrees while the record low is 27. You can see on this graph the orange dot does depict where we are right now. We are heading toward the middle of April and into May as the school year does come to a close, and you can see also those temperatures are on the rise as well. Next, we have the radar loop for upstate South Carolina. This was from earlier today. These were the clouds that we have been seeing for much of today as that rain does move through, but we're going to zoom out just a little bit and we're going to see there is a huge swath of moisture that is heading our way, and in fact is probably impacting us right now. There are a few clouds and a few showers that are moving in before the big chunk of rain moves in tonight, and it will last into tomorrow as well. Again, it will cool temperatures too. Next, we have, again provided by Weather Bell, a forecast for the upcoming hurricane season, the 2016 Atlantic hurricane season. It's hard to believe that we're already talking about that, but it does begin in just a few months. In the Atlantic Ocean, the hurricane season does start on June 1st and ends on November 30th. Over in the Eastern Pacific, along the western coast of the United States and Mexico and Central America, their hurricane season starts on May 15th. So it is time to start thinking about hurricane season, and Weather Bell has provided their annual forecast of what to expect. They are expecting a slightly above average hurricane season with 11 to 14 total storms, 6 to 8 of those being hurricanes, while 2 to 5 of them being major hurricanes. And major hurricanes are category 3, 4, and 5. You can see those numbers are compared to average for the Atlantic hurricane season in general, slightly above average. Do keep in mind, though, it's not really that important to pay attention to what's above and what's below average because, again, it only takes one storm to make it an awful season. And a good example of that was in 1992 when Hurricane Andrew slammed into Florida. 1992 had very few storms. It was a very inactive hurricane season. But Hurricane Andrew strengthened to a Category 5 hurricane and slammed into South Florida. So it is important to be aware of every storm despite it being a very inactive or active hurricane season. Again, it only takes one, so make sure that you are prepared. Here is the pick of the week provided by Stephen McCormick. This is from the top of the Tiger Media Suite over in Hendricks. This was taken about last week. It is a very beautiful sunset outside. Thank you to Stephen for sending in this awesome picture. Our weather fact of the week also is related to hurricanes, since we did just talk about hurricanes. In 2004, Florida got impacted by 4 separate hurricanes, believe it or not. They're often referred to as the Big Four. And this graphic the Weather Channel did put together, and it's really crazy, actually. 4 hurricanes in one season. There was Charlie, Janine, Francis, and Ivan as well. So a lot of intense storms, and it was even more intense the next hurricane season, 2005. Of course, that was the year that Hurricane Katrina did impact the Gulf Coast. So 2004 and 2005 were very busy and very active tropical seasons. We're also going to have another weather fact of the week. Interesting one. The National Weather Service, for the longest time, over 100 years, have sent out all of their text forecasts and products and alerts in all caps. And if you pay attention to the details like me, you know when something's going to change. On May 11th, they will start issuing their forecast in lowercase or normal font like this. Just an interesting little tidbit of information for you there. Now we're going to have the 7-day forecast. Again, it was sunny, but we're going to see that rain move in. So there's a high chance of rain tomorrow, 90%. Those temperatures will be in the 70s. But you can see for the rest of the week, it will be dry, and those temperatures will be warming after Tuesday. We are going to see a few clouds possibly move in a few days, but for the most part, it will be sunny. The only bad day of weather will be this Tuesday. Lows overnight will be in the 50s, upper 40s to lower 50s pretty much. About average this time of year, a little bit above average overnight. Now we're going to look at the bottom line. I'm introducing the emoji meter, the emoji forecast, and this is very exciting. This is basically a nice summary of what people are used to with the weather. We've got perfect, amazing, bearable, disappointing, sad, and depressing. Can you guys guess what it's going to be this week? I can. It's going to be amazing. So again, in English, the bottom line for this week, Wet Tuesday is going to occur, but after that we will be drying out for the rest of the week, and also after Tuesday there will be a warming trend to follow for the rest of the week and into the weekend. So lastly, we're going to end it up with following us on social media here at Tigervision. We are everywhere. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And be sure to like us and follow us on all of these great social media sites to get all the news updates that you need throughout the week. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Trevor. That's all for tonight, and thank you for joining us. Be sure to like our Clemson page and follow us on Twitter.
Have a great evening, Clemson, and we'll see you next semester on the Monday Night Roar.